Hi guys, Seb Ford here for GameSpot, and we are taking a look at F1 2013. In fact, a very, very early look at F1 2013. I'm joined by Paul Gilles from Codemasters. Paul, thank you very much.
You're very welcome. Certainly in terms of our journey so far, F1 2010, skipping that year in 2009, coming out with a bang, delivering a game which is not only the best-selling, won the BAFTA, great reviews, solidifying in 2011 with the safety car and a little bit more of a multiplayer focus. And then really since then we've been trying to get what you're seeing now off the ground, which is classic content. And that's in the game for the first time in F1 2013. It's it's been a long, or it seems like an eternity long process. We had some sort of design decisions to make in terms of what were we going to go for. And I think if we were going to try and replicate a particular year, very early on it became apparent that that was going to be very, very difficult. Team ownership switched hands so many times, so trying to track down the specific person you need to speak to who's got clearances for the car, trying to track down the people you need to speak to clear the sponsors on the car was a challenge. In addition to that, we didn't just want to offer a time trial experience, something that other games have done, but as ever at Codemasters, we like to innovate, we like to drive things forward. And as much as the car is the star in all racing games, and that's true in Formula 1 as well, certainly when I was growing up, there was a lot of resonation and passion for the drivers as well. So, that was a key component of it. Not only clear the car and the sponsors, but also who could we have pilot these cars that would make sense. So what we did, what we managed to do, is create a new game mode. It's available off the main menu. It's got its totally own unique strand of the game. This demo has been very badly driven by our lead car handling designer Lee, by the way.
It's an old car, that's
It's an old car, he's not used to it, absolutely. So yeah, what we managed to do is create a new game mode accessible from the main menu called F1 Classics. So that's obviously historic content brought into F1 for the first time in our Codemasters franchise. So as soon as you go into that strand of the game, you're going to kind of be taken back visually to the sort of TV feel and audio feel of yesteryear in terms of what you're experiencing, right from the fact that the garage is different, it's not a showroom environment, which is what's true for the rest of the 2013 content.
Sure, you also seem to have like a little bit less track runoff when safety laws were a little bit more lax, and even the colour, is that a deliberate thing? It looks a bit sort of indie at the moment.
Yeah, so the colour treatment, we've got a new art director this year, Anthony. He very, very much looked at the whole game, what can we do visually to improve it, but very specifically, how can we take this F1 Classics and kind of put our own stamp on it? So whilst it's a sort of contemporary event where we're bringing back a mixture of teams from across a decade, both the 80s and the 90s, and in addition to the original drivers, we've got some returning team legends coming back. More on that in a little bit, because obviously the drivers are a huge part of Formula 1, and we've got an amazing lineup. We're only releasing a tiny bit of that information here today.
Sure.
But in terms of taking the gamers and people who've watched TV back in time, so from a UK perspective, Murray Walker, looking at a strong tie-in with a well-known music track as well. And obviously, from a gameplay point of view, just date stamping it a little bit. You can see the on-screen elements of the HUD are date stamped for the 80s.
Sure.
It means bringing back, like I said, a mixture of original drivers and world champions as well. If we were to take this forward into the 90s, you'd see slightly less of a colour filter on there. Again, all the on-screen TV elements are more akin to maybe the ITV days, the sort of blues and yellows, and it's all updated a little bit more. So here you're seeing the hand come off of the wheel and change gear, and obviously these cars are up to 1,000 brake horsepower. I'm very, very happy, as Lee's demonstrating very well. 90s, they've obviously got a lot more grip. All the gearboxes and advancements in technology really move forward. So gamers are going to be able to experience cars from as early as 1980 all the way through to the late 90s in terms of content across the game in F1 Classic Edition.
Sure.